Man, he's doing so good. I haven't hopped on him yet, but I'm about to. That's so impressive. Good boy.
Hello everybody, Blake and Brett here. We just wanted to give a little update, recap of what Blake's been doing this week. My name is Brett. I have a little horse farm in northern Utah.
Hi, well, I'm Alan's cousin, Dana, and I'm just going to take you on a quick tour of Brett Broadhead's ranch in Honeyville, Utah. That's about an hour north of Salt Lake City, and it's a pretty place. Honeyville is located right against the base of the Wasatch Front, about an hour north of Salt Lake City. And this piece of property a long time ago used to be a dairy. And when you hit the first pasture, there's 4 mules in here. The youngest is a girl named Scampy. And then the biggest one is a boy named Tater. And then when you look this direction, you'll see Brett over there with Donkey, and maybe he'll hee-haw for you, but that's Donkey. And there's a couple of mares waiting to be bred with Donkey. He's a money maker. He helps people make mules. So here we are on the other side of what used to be a milking barn, is now the shop. And there's Blue, the little 2-year-old stud who's tied up, getting ready to get worked with. And there's the hay barn, and Brett calls this his mare pasture because there's a lot of mares here hanging out together, and they every one of them is a gaited horse of one kind or another. And this is right next to a dairy. That's the nearest neighbor. And when you look this direction, probably in the shade that you can't see, is the round pen that on the other side of the house you'll see the round pen that Blake's been working at. And then we're back to the mules in the driveway out.
I raise kind of all things gaited here, horses and mules. I have about 20 animals. And I have Tennessee Walkers, Missouri Foxtrotters, Standardbreds, what did I miss? Rocky Mountain gaited, got some mules, got a gaited jack, a little blue roan Standardbred stud. And anyway, talked to Blake, and Blake came out, and we had some different priorities this week that we've been working on really hard. And we just kind of wanted to recap, go through them, and just talk about how everything went. So when Blake first got here, we kind of walked around and looked at everything and decided that the number 1 priorities were going to be training 3 horses that I have. One's the Blue Roan colt stud that I was talking about. The other 2 are 3-year-old single footing horses. They're different crosses. One's a Rocky cross with a Standardbred, and the other's a Tennessee Walker cross with a Standardbred. And they're, like I said, they're 3 years old this year. They were halter broke about 9 months when they were gelded, and then pretty much been running and just messing around with the other horses since then. So they haven't had a ton of work done. Blue colt, I've been messing with him in the round pen and doing some work on him, so he was a little farther along, but still had a ways to go before he could be ridden or anything. So that was our first priority, was to work with those 3 horses. We kind of had a second priority of horses, just depending on how things went and how far along we got, and those included a couple mules to ride, just get some more time on. Other than that, Blake's been doing some chores around here, and then we had a lot of things to work on, as far as we've got these elm trees, I think you can see in the background, everywhere on the farm here, and those things drop. Every time the wind blows, they drop firewood like manna from heaven. So we've been cutting that up and dragging those and burning limbs and keeping late hours with big bonfires and stuff. So there's a lot of fences that, especially I have a half draft I didn't mention, and she's real hard on fences. So we've got a lot of fences that are messed up, and so another thing was to work on some fences. And I don't know, you've been doing a lot. What else did you throw in there that?
Just feeding horses morning and night. We've bred a lot of mares, a lot of outside mares.
Yeah, that's one thing we could talk about. So I think I said I had a breeding jack. So a lot of people bring mares from outside that we breed for mule babies. And this week we had, I think we have 4 outside mares this week, and then breeding one of mine as well. All those to the jack except for one we were breeding to the little blue coat stud. So I think that's another thing that really points out how far we've come with the blue coat.
Yeah.
Is that Blake was able to ride him several times in the pen and a couple times outside the pen, just around here on the property. And the one day we bred him the same day that you rode him. Yeah. So I mean, he's really got a hold of his head and really settled down. I think doing real well. So.
I'm not heading for the stars, driving down the boulevard at night, playing Coldplay on repeat, watching people on the street as I go by. And it doesn't even matter to me where I go, I just feel I need to take a ride. Oh, and I'm gonna hit the road tonight. Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go. Turning up the stereo in a place I didn't know till now. In a different part of town, I see new colors as the sun goes down. No, it doesn't even matter to me where I go, just feel I need to take a ride. I don't know when I'll get back, keep on going and relax tonight. Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go.
The horses are now. He's got a little bit more to do today before his ride comes. Today's his day's going home, but he's gonna kind of work with him a little longer, see where he can get to. But
Yeah. Well, I'd love to get another saddle on Blue, ride him around a little bit, and then the 2-3-year-olds, I want to saddle them up. I haven't been on their backs yet. They've taken a lot longer. They went crazy with the saddle the first time, but they've gotten to the point where they'll let me saddle them decently. One of them better than the other. He's kind of been the leader of the herd, but they've both come a long way. I'm impressed with how well they've learned and how well they've retained their learning. For example, one horse, it took probably 150 tries throwing the saddle on. The first day, the next day it took about 50, and the next day it took 3. So he's improved a ton, and I know that they're going to be great horses and be able to be amazing horses for somebody someday.
yeah, I think overall it's been an awesome week.
Yeah.
We got a ton of stuff done, a lot more than I could have done by myself for sure. Blake's a real hard worker. We've got a lot of work done. The fences look really good. We had one.
Yeah.
We even had a colt. We had, since we started, right? We had one baby. I had one colt here when he got here, and then we had a little filly born the first day he was here, and the one colt later in the week got caught in the fence because we've been starting letting him run around. he got caught in the fence a little bit because it was not built all the way.
Yeah.
So we finished that fence up, and so now we could let him out and get him, let him run more, stretch his legs, and yeah, we've got a lot of stuff done around here, which is real helpful to get on top of all those things.
Yeah, it's looking really good.
So I wasn't filming when he first started, but he just put the saddle straight. This is Rocky. Blake just put the saddle straight on him. He didn't have any hesitation or issue. Cinching him up, we're gonna work him a little bit. Ranger's over here anxiously awaiting his turn. Spectator, we got Lucy here. And some are there. They're extremely interested.
Watch how light he is on his head. Alright, I'll get to the side so you can see it. It's absolutely crazy to me. I haven't even worked much with him, but I'm not holding.
Oh.
And he'll just hold it there. I'll let it down. He'll hold it there. This is exactly what you want. And then he'll come back. And see, he doesn't go until I pull it. That's impressive. He's doing so good. I haven't hopped on him yet, but I'm about to. That's so impressive.
I always thought Ranger would be the first one. You've done really well with him.
Well, saddle him and tell him good job, but I'm gonna work with Ranger.
All right. That's good progress.
Yeah.
Good milestone to hit.
It's
The last day.
amazing progress, you know? I mean, seriously, I literally threw the saddle on 150 times that one day. I wish I would have counted. I mean, I would have lost count. But literally, and then the next day maybe about 50 times, and then the next day just like throw it up there and you kind of move and pull it down, throw it up there, and then on the third one I put it up there and cinch up, and then today I was able to just set it up there and go. So
He's learning.
oh yeah, for sure. Good. good. See, he's not trying to kick or nothing.
Yeah.
That's super good.